आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Hardeep Singh Puri, one of the very critical ministers for petroleum and natural gas, but more than that, I would say one of the most effective spokespersons for the Modi government. He's had a long innings. It's a second innings in the government for him. Mr. Puri, pleasure to have you. Congratulations on 11 years of the Modi government. Good time to take stock, you think, of where we are going?
Thank you very much, Arnab. Thank you for having me on your show. Yes, I think 11 years is a good period and a good time for stock taking.
Absolutely. Mr. Puri, the situation, wouldn't you agree, is far more complex globally, which has a direct effect on what you do, direct effect on your government. Things are very unpredictable today. Our trade talks with America have not closed. We have very tough negotiations going on. Geopolitically, there is greater pressure. The world is different today from where it was exactly a year back. What impact does this have on the way the government looks at things and the way you look at things?
Well, I think the first task in stock taking at the point of completion of 11 years is to look at what we have been able to achieve domestically. And I think the figures are mind-boggling. The GDP has increased from 2 trillion to 4.3 trillion. You've succeeded in lifting 279 million people out of multidimensional poverty. And the other figures like 40 million Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana already built, another 30 million you will done. That's one side. But the fact of the matter is, you are part of the international scene as it is evolving. And for us, what happens in the outside world is important because 50% of our GDP, that is the value of goods and services imported, remittances, imported, exported, is in the external sector. So that is important. But I think my submission to you, Arnab, is that we are very well positioned to navigate through the international situation, even as it is evolving, sometimes in an unpredictable manner. I think we have the internal strength and we have pretty resolute and decisive leadership which can navigate through this uncertainty.
But you do agree that things are uncertain, especially because of America's uncertain position vis-a-vis India. They haven't truly been on our side. Geopolitically also, you're a diplomat, you know. They've tried to play 50-50 between India and Pakistan, and that has an impact on the way trade negotiations happen. And then he's going around claiming that he's used trade to pressurize us. So Donald Trump has emerged far more unstable and unpredictable than he was expected to be.
Well, that's your statement. As a minister of the government, I cannot be seen to be endorsing any statement of that kind, but you will appreciate that. I would say that every country negotiates in their own interest. And when it comes to trade negotiations in particular, we have to negotiate to our advantage. The very fact that we are having several rounds of discussions, I have no doubt that the ultimate trade negotiations, when they see a successful outcome, our interests will not only be preserved, but our interests will be furthered. So I would hold judgment on that. I mean, it's better not to comment on a negotiating process when it is underway. Also, I'm not fully aware of what is underway. Equally, insofar as the behavior of other countries is concerned, I mean, it's something that applies to all of us. I mean, we negotiate with state systems, and their state systems have elections, they throw up leadership periodically. As far as I am concerned, I have full confidence in the manner we will negotiate on issues of trade and other issues of economic interest to us.
Right. Now, post Operation Sindoor, we sent all-party delegations all around the world. Is this for internal optics or are these really effective? I mean, is it more for internal optics to put politics? Wouldn't you, as a seasoned diplomat, have felt that this was a pure MEA, government exercise rather than an exercise in involving all parties. How effective are all-party delegations really? Do people outside India care whether anyone's from Trinamool Congress or NCP? These are our internal matters. Would it not have been handled better with hardcore diplomats and government involved?
No, first of all, I am not willing to subscribe to, although you know my affection for you, but I'm never willing to subscribe that politicians are any less hard-nosed than diplomats. But let me remind you, I remember there was a year in Geneva when the then government of the day sent Vajpayee ji to the Human Rights Commission when it came to a certain issue involving our Western neighbor. I think an all-party delegation which consists of members of the other political parties who go and put the case forward. So it's not just internal optics. I think it has a major impact on their interlocutors outside. Resident envoys will speak to politicians, they'll speak to think tanks, they'll speak to the government of the day. But an all-party delegation has an added advantage, and I think this delegation of 7 delegations comprising members of different opposition parties was both well conceived, and I think this whole exercise was well executed. So I'm all in favor of it.
Do you think it would be good for India if US and Russia come to some understanding on Ukraine, or would it be bad for India in terms of purely your role in oil diplomacy? From an oil diplomacy and economic perspective, is it better they fix it or better they leave it unresolved because we can keep buying, cheap Russian oil the way we have been doing it in our national
We will
interest?
continue to buy from wherever we can. We will continue to keep buying from wherever we can in our own national interest. But my take on these ongoing international conflicts is that they will all, sooner rather than later, see cessation of hostilities. I mean, the Russia-Ukraine conflict has gone on longer than we had anticipated. My own assessment was that by 31st March this year, we would see a gradual winding down. But today I know that the efforts underway, all right, so, you're dealing with both sides which are a little unpredictable. But I think all well-meaning people in the world would like to see this conflict coming to an end sooner than later. Insofar as oil diplomacy is concerned, look, we today have diversified our sources of supply. We used to buy from 27 countries. Today we are buying from 40 countries. There was a time when we bought hardly any oil from Russia, crude oil. In February 22, it was less than 0.2%. Today we're buying lots of oil. There was a time when we bought hardly any energy from the United States. Last year we bought 14 billion NIC imports. So there is more than enough oil available in the world. More of it is coming on stream from the Western hemisphere. I have no anxiety on that front. I think insofar as oil diplomacy is concerned, energy diplomacy is concerned, we will continue to effectively ensure availability, affordability and sustainability.
You think the government after 11 years is much more a representative government of allies than it was at the end of 10 years? Especially in the context of the politics we are seeing in Tamil Nadu, we saw a nice switch with the ADMK being brought in. Is this a more accommodative, less BJP-centric government than it was in UPA, in NDA 2?
Look, the BJP has already always believed, has had a strong belief in the NDA alliance system. Now, which parties are in? I saw interviews by the Honorable Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu ji yesterday. I'm seeing other stuff. I think the BJP is also equally accommodating, etc. So whether it is Bihar or it is the southern states, etc., the NDA is here. The NDA is a very potent political platform, and whether it's a question of nuance, whether it's more BJP centered, no, I think we are providing space to our NDA allies equally.
Now, your GDP numbers are being contradicted every time by saying the government should stop talking about GDP but talk about GDP per capita. So that's the narrative being thrown at you, that you'll be third largest economy in the world, but where will you stand on GDP per capita?
They ran. No, somebody who quoted this then quoted another economy which we've overtaken. And then somebody pointed out, but don't look at the per capita, look at the per capita debt also. Our per capita debt would be about $1,000 plus, and that other country's per capita debt was $70,000 per capita. So what would you rather have? The GDP will grow, and in that process the per capita income will grow as along with the GDP. So I think anybody who wants to question the figures, please do your homework. Tell them to do their homework and then come. They bait a hasty retreat when somebody pointed out the per capita debt figure.
Why aren't you, or rather the Election Commission, it's been 11 years of the Modi government, able to substantively stop Rahul Gandhi from spreading the lies about fixed elections? You know, this match-fixing charge, you may say it's not valid, but the fact is, legally or otherwise, you haven't been able to stop him from making the charge. You haven't explored a legal option on it. You've left it to the Election Commission, and I'm sure you'll agree that it has a very demoralizing impact on people. This kind of a charge being put on a regular basis saying match-fixed elections are a poison for democracy, etc., etc.
Rahul, your question is a serious question.
Sir, please don't call me Rahul. You can call me by any other name. You can call me by any other name. Please don't call me Rahul.
No, I didn't call you Rahul. I said there's some communication.
Okay,
the question that Rahul has raised, and the question you have raised, Arnab, you have raised the question, why has the EC not been able to effectively dissuade Mr. Rahul Gandhi?
Yeah.
Part of that question has to be answered. It's a very serious question. It has to be answered by the Election Commission, whether they have other option. But I think the answer may lie in something else. You know Mr. Rahul Gandhi's personality. He's sui generis. He's one of a kind. Can he be stopped on anything? And many of the statements that he makes are self-destructive. You know, our problem is that sometimes he says outlandish things, and silently, while criticize him or contradict him, we are quite happy that he's making a royal fool of himself. Now, this whole business about caste census, we turned around and said when we have the census, the caste census will be very much a part of it. Now, then he talks about other things. Now, elections are fixed. How did the Congress party win elections?
Did you succumb to their pressure on caste census?
When he wins an election,
did you succumb to their pressure on caste census?
Not at all. Not at all. No, not at all. You read the old statements, including by Amit Bhai, the Honorable Home Minister. We had said all along, we will do the caste census at the appropriate time. We don't need to respond to every statement that Uncle Rahul makes. I mean, it's a very different brand of one-of-a-kind shoot and scoot politics. He makes a statement, then runs away from it. So I genuinely believe that Rahul Gandhi's resonance, to the extent that he has any, is because well-known and well-established anchors like you occasionally refer to him. If you were to stop referring to him, as you've stopped referring to Mr. Kejriwal, they will all be politicians on the past tense.
Sir, okay, I take your point. I'm not getting into a debate on Rahul. Have things slowed down vis-a-vis Uniform Civil Code? You know, we are getting a sense that the more troublesome issues politically have been kept in a back burner, and Uniform Civil Code is one of them. Then there is one nation, one poll. But are these more slogans now in NDA 3 than targeted, time-bound deliveries that people can expect?
I think it would be unfair for me to try and answer that question. All I can tell you is if you look at all the list of things that we had promised to do in the 2014 manifesto and beyond, most of them we were quitting. Now, we have not gone back, but in a political democracy of India's kind, which is vibrant and robust, the exact timing of it you have to find. We did 370 when people least expected it. One nation, one poll. There is a panel. The panel has views on it. There are other people who have views on it. Uniform Civil Code equally, that some of the action has to come from the states, not from the center. But I think everything is on track. Precise timing. We are only in the first. We've just completed 1 year of Modi 3.0 and India 3.0. There's still 4 more years to go, Arnab.
Sure. Last question to you as a diplomat. You know, Operation Sindoor, now it emerges, we had a clear upper hand on 9th and 10th. Diplomatically and otherwise speaking, could we have pushed them over? Because what's happening now, we saw in the Shangri-La dialogue, IISS and elsewhere, a sort of hyphenation of that India-Pakistan equation is coming up, which had not been the case for the last 10 years. Not especially last few years since the first surgical strikes, but that conversation has come back again. How do we tackle it? How do we re-dehyphenate them? India from Pakistan, especially given the nuclear card they are carrying these days so strongly.
Arnab, Operation Sindoor was a spectacular military success. On that, there is no doubt. The devastation that was caused in 22 minutes of strike, for which the evidence is available in the public domain through commercial satellite data, that speaks volumes. Now, whether you should have gone further and, allowed that involves a political decision. And I think the Honorable Prime Minister, with all the political maturity and statesmanship at a command, responded to a request for cessation of hostilities from the Pakistani side. Let time will tell. I am very, very confident that that was the right decision to take at this point of time. Insofar as hyphenation is concerned, please, Pakistan has been the epicenter of terrorism. There is no hyphenation. Pakistan is a country which is a failed state. It is fast tumbling down. These were 2 countries born from the womb of the state, same mother. We are going to soon be the 3rd largest economy. Pakistan, as a failed state, may break into 3 or 4 more pieces. I don't know what's going to happen in the Pakhtun areas, in the Afghan areas, in POK, etc. So don't worry about rehyphenation. Academics who straddle the strategic community need to keep themselves busy in these dialogues that they have. They will talk about it 3 months from now. There'll be no reference to any hyphenation. It will be Pakistan failed state, India highly successful, 3rd largest economy in the world.
Well, I thank you so much. Mr. Puri, you have taken all these questions, even if I've injected my dose of cynicism into some of them only to extract the best answers from you. Congratulations on 11 years. And we'll be tracking the progress of the government very, very closely. Thank you, Mr. Puri.
Thank you. And I like your cynicism. It helps. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।